Have you ever wished you could just install confidence, like an app for your brain? What if I told you that you actually can? That confidence isn't some personality trait you're born with, but a skill you can build from the ground up. In this explainer, we're going to walk through a step-by-step system to build that unshakable self-belief, even if you've spent your entire life doubting yourself. You know the type, right? That person who walks into a room and just owns it. And we look at them and think, wow, they were just born with it. We tell ourselves it's some kind of magic, some effortless self-assurance that the rest of us just missed out on. It's a really convincing story. But here's the thing. It's not true. At all. In fact, it's probably one of the biggest lies holding people back. Believing that confidence is some fixed thing you either have or you don't, well, that's the very first wall we need to knock down. So let's talk about this great confidence lie. The whole idea that you're either confident or you're not is what keeps so many people stuck. You end up just waiting to feel ready. But spoiler alert, that feeling almost never just shows up on its own. Okay, so here is the huge mental shift you need to make. Confidence is not the absence of fear. It's a skill. Think of it like a muscle. It's the practiced ability to take action even when you feel that fear, that doubt, that what-if voice in your head. And today, we're going to learn how to hit the gym. So, how do you build this muscle? It all comes down to this simple but incredibly powerful loop. First, you take a small action. That action creates evidence for your brain, a little piece of proof that says, hey, I can do this. And that evidence starts to change your identity, how you see yourself. Tiny actions create proof, and that proof literally rewires your brain.
All right, if it's such a simple loop, why isn't everybody walking around feeling unstoppable? Well, because there are a few very common roadblocks that break this cycle before it even gets going. Let's call them out by name.
First, you've got the no feedback loop. This is when you do something awesome, but you immediately forget it and move on. Your brain never gets to register the win. Sound familiar? Then there's the perfection trap, that little voice that says, don't start yet, you're not ready, which of course means you never start. And finally, the identity gap. This is when you start taking new actions, but you look in the mirror and still see the same old you. So to fight these killers and get that confidence loop spinning, we need a game plan, a framework. And that's where the C.O.N.F.I.D system comes in. Think of it as your practical, step-by-step toolkit for building this skill from scratch. First up, C is for collect evidence. This is your direct weapon against that no feedback loop. The mission is simple. Write down 3 wins every single day. And I mean every day. They can be tiny, like I made my bed, or I spoke up for 5 seconds in that meeting. You're creating a logbook of proof that forces your brain to see that you are, in fact, capable. O stands for optimize micro habits, because, confidence is physical, too. Little consistent tweaks to your posture, like standing a bit taller or pulling your shoulders back, and cleaning up your internal self-talk can literally reprogram your body and mind. Just remember, consistency is way more powerful than intensity. Next, N is for name the fear. This is a really cool psychological trick. When you're feeling that big, vague anxiety about something, just say it out loud. I'm nervous about this presentation because I'm afraid I'll mess up. The moment you name it, you take away its power. You turn this giant, scary monster into a small, manageable problem. F is for forced exposure. Now listen, the goal here isn't to become fearless. It's to build your tolerance for discomfort. You do this by planning tiny, controlled challenges. Speak up just once in a meeting. Ask one question. Each time you do it, your comfort zone gets a little bit bigger. All right, next up is I for install competence. And this one is non-negotiable. See, confidence without actual competence is just arrogance. Real, lasting confidence comes from knowing you have the skills to back it up. So pick one skill that matters and just practice it for 15 minutes a day. That ability you're building becomes your rock-solid foundation. And finally, D, declare identity. This is what closes the loop. You start telling yourself who you are becoming. Not, I wish I were confident, but I am the kind of person who speaks up. Your brain is an amazing machine. It will work overtime to match your reality to the story you tell it. Okay, so that's the system. But theory is pretty useless without action, right? So let's bundle all this up into a super practical 30-day plan you can literally start today. It's a clear, steady progression. Week 1, it's all about collecting those wins and just getting your head in the game. Week 2, you're focusing on building those small physical and mental habits. Week 3, you start climbing that exposure ladder, stepping out of your comfort zone just a little. And week 4 ties it all together by honing your skills and locking in that new identity.
And you know what? This stuff really works. Take Rhea, for example. She used to completely freeze up in meetings, but she started applying these little steps, journaling her wins, practicing one talking point, asking one question a week, and in just 30 days, her team started to see her as a leader. She didn't change her personality, she just changed her patterns.
Now, as you're getting ready to start, there's probably a huge question popping into your head. It's the one that stops most of us cold. What happens if I try all this and I fail? The answer to that question? Good. Seriously. Failure is not the end of the road. It's just part of the process. It's feedback. It's just data telling you what you need to tweak for the next time. Every time you stumble, it's a lesson that moves you forward, not some final verdict on who you are.
And then there's the other big one. The moment you start acting more confident, you might get that little nagging voice in your head, the one that whispers, "You're just faking it. You're a fraud."
Listen, that feeling, it's actually a fantastic sign. Feeling like an imposter doesn't mean you're a fraud. It means you're growing. It means you are in motion, actively stepping out of your old identity and into a new one. It's literally what progress feels like.
So, here's the bottom line. Confidence isn't something you wait around for. It's something you build, one tiny action at a time. The most important step you can take is always the very first one. So let's get some momentum going right now.
Let's do the 1-minute win drill. It's so simple. Step 1, do one tiny completable task. Send that one text you've been putting off. Tidy one little corner of your desk, whatever. Then, and this is the most important part, say out loud, "I did that." Acknowledge it. Boom, you just started the confidence loop. And that's really it. It all starts with one small, deliberate action. So the only question left for you is this. What are you going to do in the next 60 seconds? What's your 1-minute win to kick this whole thing off?